But let me jump right in. Here's the poll here. You can see it on your screen. Conservatives lead by 15 as federal government disapproval jumps 4 points. Holy moly. If there were an election today, Pierre Poilievre would have a majority government, and I don't even know if the Trudeau Liberals would be in second. Here, look at this first chart. 41% for the Conservatives, 26% for the Liberals. And what's interesting is that the Green Party is down to just 3%. Now, they've always been fringe, but what that tells me is that people are no longer in luxury mode. They're in recession mode. When everyone's doing well, you can find problems to care about that are sort of fake problems because it's a sign of your class. So if you're very rich and you really have no worries, if it's not a problem to pay for your rent and your groceries and your vacations, you have everything, then just to be fashionable, you can say you really, really deeply care about global warming, even though you jet around. But when you're poor and when you can make rent, all of a sudden those fake issues go away. The Green Party is a fake party. It's a party for elites who are well-to-do. And we live in a state in Canada right now where we're in a technical recession, where rent has doubled, and where most people are one paycheck away from not being able to pay their bills. So obviously the Green Party, a luxury party, a party of the PhDs and the university set, is only down to 3%. But anyways, I want to talk to you more about the Liberals, because that's what's most interesting. People are poor. They're worried about housing. They can't pay taxes. By the way, environmentalism is all about taxes, carbon taxes. I had to chuckle. I saw today in Blacklocks a story that Stephen Guilbeault had an unpaid tax debt for years. He was in cabinet and he hadn't paid his taxes. He only finally caught up on that. What a little grifter. Hey, do you think there's any chance he's going to pay his $20,000 penalty to Rebel News out of his own pocket? Of course not. He's going to take that from taxpayers. Anyways, more of the Abacus research poll. Look at this. The regional breakdown here is just amazing. Look at British Columbia. But for the longest time, I thought, well, Vancouver is sort of like San Francisco, very left-wing, very progressive, very environmentalist. Look at, obviously that would be the Liberal stronghold, but look at the province. 52% for the Conservatives, just 18% for Trudeau. That is so shocking to me. I really think the turning point for Trudeau in BC was Jody Wilson-Raybould, because she was beloved by British Columbians. She was what that province thought of itself as: progressive, inclusive, an Indigenous woman, highly ethical person. And the way Trudeau chewed her up and spat her out, I think that not only offended different groups in BC, but it was a flash of reality when you suddenly see someone for who they are rather than who they pretend to be. And I think that was the moment British Columbia fell out of love with Trudeau. And of course, when you fall out of love after a betrayal, it doesn't go back to dispassion. It goes back to hatred. Love and hate can be opposites, just like love and nothing can be. And I think British Columbians hate Justin Trudeau, which is incredible because that used to be one of his bases. Liberals are in third place everywhere west of Ontario. I find that utterly amazing. Look at that. In Alberta, just 11% of Albertans support Justin Trudeau. That's almost single digits. That if you ask people how many of them believe in UFOs, you would probably get a larger number. The next chart is fascinating too. My whole life I've been told, well, Conservatives have a problem with the gender gap. Look at that. Both men and women prefer the Conservatives to Trudeau. More men prefer it than women do, but both are in the positive. That's incredible. Young people just hate Trudeau. I think partly because they're disillusioned. They see a cynical, fake, whether they see it when they see it. But like I said before, the problem is housing. If you are in your late 20s or early 30s and you're starting a family and you're trying to buy a house and you're trying to get ahead, you are the least likely people in the country to support Trudeau because you are in real life. If you look at the chart here, the best demographic for Trudeau is university-educated people. He's still not ahead with them. He's behind 33 to 35. But if you're university-educated, that is shorthand for you're rich, you're privileged, you're in the elite. Not everybody, but that's a good shorthand. And, if you are university educated, it's much more likely that you own your home. that you have no problems paying for groceries. You like virtue signaling because it's a valuable thing to you. And so you love talking about, I don't know, gendered language. Here's Trudeau posting about gendered language at the recent G20 conference. Did you see this?
Hi, what did Canada contribute in UK?
As always, Canada is a strong voice for inclusion of gender language, inclusion of Indigenous reflections, but all throughout we made sure that countries around the world are focused on growing the economy in inclusive ways, creating opportunity and prosperity for everyone in a more peaceful, more secure world, respect for the rule of law, ambition on fighting climate change. These are all things that Canada pushes for at every summit, among others, and we will continue to.
Imagine going to the G20. That's a meeting of the most serious countries in the world. Imagine going there with the crisis of affordability in Canada. And when you're asked what you contributed, what you achieved, all you have to say is, well, we got gendered language in there. He's so out of touch, it's really sort of sad. And look at the net effect here. 57% of Canadians disapprove of Trudeau's government. It's never been this bad. And look at this related chart. The pool of accessible voters. What that means is people who would consider voting for you. There's some people who would never, ever in a million years ever consider voting for the Conservatives or the Liberals. But the pool of people who would, in the right circumstances, consider voting for a party, that's what they mean by accessible voters. And look at that. The Conservatives have 50% of the country as accessible voters, whereas Trudeau only has 42%. So his ceiling is 42%. If he got every single voter who could possibly vote for him, he'd win again. But what's the odds of that? This is a disaster.